Hello, welcome to the weekly Forex Outlook here at xm.com. My name is Rafi Boyajan, currency analyst, and with me is our chief economist, Michalis Florenjadis. So Michalis, it's been a fairly good week for sterling. It's up by around 2%, even though we're still no closer to a final outcome on Brexit. We had a lot of votes taking place in British Parliament. We also had trade back in the headlines. There's reportedly been progress between the US and China. So please can you tell us in more detail what happened?
I think that sterling's gains are more tied to the fact that the market is relieved that the possibility of a no-deal Brexit has been reduced because Parliament has voted by a pretty strong margin that they don't like a no-deal Brexit. So hopefully there will be a way to avoid that. Now, as you said, what exactly that way is going to be is yet to be determined. But probably we are heading towards an extension. This is what Parliament has also voted for. Is it going to be a short extension, a long extension? What the EU is going to demand and what the UK is going to have to do, because it's possible that the UK will have to make certain concessions in order to get the, as in doing things that will show that it is remaining an EU member. So I think that this is more interesting. Of course, we have more votes next week, possibly Prime Minister May's deal, which has already been rejected twice, is going to go to Parliament for a third time. So we'll have to look at what happens with that. It was interesting to see that the dollar was relatively a little bit weaker together with the Japanese yen. Maybe not such great demand for safe havens. It was a positive, risk-positive week, although the fact that Trump's meeting with President Xi of China is not looking likely in the short term, so maybe it will take a bit longer, despite the fact that, as you said, there has been some progress with trade negotiations. But apart from that, really not much else exciting happening. I think the Brexit votes pretty much were the focus and trade. So, Rafi, having said this, I understand that next week is going to be more exciting, maybe in terms of data and central bank meetings. So what do you have to tell us about those things?
It will indeed. So we've got a lot of important data, but the main highlight will be central bank meetings, and we're also going to have even more Brexit votes, like you said, plus an EU summit, which could also play a crucial role in what happens with Brexit. So starting with sterling, sterling will definitely be remaining in the spotlight. We've got the Bank of England policy meeting coming up next week. We're not expecting any changes, and we're unlikely to hear anything new, given that the previous meeting was with the inflation report, so there's not going to be any press conference or fresh projections at the March meeting. But we will be having a number of important data, inflation, the jobs report, and retail sales coming out of the UK. But of course, this will probably not be the main focus for investors, because Theresa May is planning on holding a third meaningful vote on her Brexit deal by the March 20th, and then on the 21st and the 22nd we're going to have the EU summit, where Theresa May will be requesting an extension for Article 50, which although it's most likely the EU will accept giving an extension. We don't know under what terms they will do this. So that could determine how the Brexit story plays out. Then moving on to the Fed, we do have, of course, the FOMC meeting. Now, this will be very important because the Fed will be updating its economic projections plus its dot plot chart. We're likely to see the Fed most likely predicting one rate hike in 2019, though this is not certain. If we do get no rate increase being forecasted by policymakers, that would likely be a negative on the US dollar. But on the other hand, if we do get some indication that we could still get some rate increase later this year, that could give the dollar a bit of a boost. We're also going to have the Swiss National Bank holding its policy meeting, but following the ECB's meeting where they turned more dovish, much more dovish than what had been anticipated. The SNB, it's unlikely the SNB will signal any rate increase anytime soon, and will probably reiterate its current policy stance of holding on to its current record low negative interest rates. In terms of data, we will have New Zealand GDP numbers coming up. The Kiwi hasn't been faring as badly as the Australian dollar recently, and so if we do get, and it has also been benefiting from the trade headlines, so an upbeat GDP report could help the Kiwi. On the other hand, we could see rate hike expectations grow if we do see a GDP miss, and we're also going to have inflation numbers coming out of Japan as well as Canada.
So it looks like an action-packed week, plus whatever headlines we are going to get from on the trade front. They could also move markets, but I think that definitely, apart from Brexit, of course, and the new vote, we are going to hear from the Fed and what is thinking, and maybe a dovish tilt to what the Fed is saying and the new forecasts, which could hurt the dollar, as you said, but that remains to be seen. Thank you very much for your input, Rafi. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a great day.